Time now to check out what's been moving the needle around the majors. Justin Verlander was the biggest name moved in yesterday's deadline. Max Scherzer was introduced in Arlington as well on Tuesday. So Al Leiter, who will make the bigger impact on this AL West race?
So I'm going to go with Max, and that's nothing to us because the numbers say, and the stuff, and not to do a breakdown here, but you say that Verlander, with respect to stuff-wise and numbers, would say, okay, that's the winner. I'm going a little further with Max was not part of any plan for the Rangers. Oliver Verlander, who was in that clubhouse, was part of that team for a few years. These guys, yes, they're happy that he's there, but the introduction is familiar. So when you're with a club and you're in the locker room and you know what's going on and the front office for the Rangers are making the moves and CY and their scouts and all of it do an excellent job. When you add Max Scherzer into the picture of knowing that what you need, and yes, they have other star players, but they didn't experience a World Series. They're trying to get there. I think that Max moves the needle more for me with respect to the room and the excitement of it all. Yes, they have Corey Seager. He's got to get healthy. Yes, Simeon is a star player as well. But this guy's a Hall of Famer as well as Verlander, and how he fits in, not only on his every fifth day, but what he means to the room. I think it moves the needle a little bit more for me than Verlander.
I love that you're going.
And I'm not even saying about stuff and slider and fastball and velo and all that other stuff. Just what he means to that club. I think Max moves a little bit more.
You've literally been there. You know what it takes. So for you to go with your gut reaction, I mean, how can we not trust you? Ariel, I think we're going to go with what Vegas has to say. What is Vegas saying about this whole situation?
Al, you're wrong.
Al, here's gut. Vegas, I don't know what the heck you're going to go with.
I did not pitch in the majors, so I'm going with numbers. Vegas loves Justin Verlander. It had Houston moving from +110, which was the second shortest odds behind Texas to win the division. Now the Astros flip to -130 to win the division. Texas falls behind Houston. The bigger move went to Verlander. It doesn't shock me. The Astros, they get a pitcher that's gotten better throughout the year. Verlander had an ERA just below a 5 in May. He's got a 1.69 ERA in July. Scherzer stayed consistent. He's been around 3.4 ERA. The Astros had a banged-up rotation, which we'll get to a little bit later in the show. Both of these rotations did need a number one after so many injuries. However, the Astros go deeper.
Fair enough.
X?
Yeah, I definitely understand Al's argument, and it makes a lot of sense, especially from bringing in someone of that caliber. But at the same time, respectfully, you're tripping, Al. I'm taking Verlander every day over Scherzer because he's just been a shell of himself. Like, we have not seen the Max Scherzer that we've seen in the past, and we haven't seen any glimpse of it so far this season. And we see Verlander getting better at this point. I'll take him over Scherzer and Montgomery right now. If you tell me I got to pick one out of the other, I got to go Verlander because of what he did last year, too. We saw him win the Cy Young, help lead his team to a World Series. He's going to be comfortable going back into that clubhouse. And I feel like it's going to be almost just as much of a breath of fresh air as the Rangers will have with Scherzer as Verlander being back. So I think in a motivational type sense, I think the Astros get the same thing, but now they get better stuff as well. I'm taking Verlander.
What do you know anyway?
Familiarity at the trade deadline
is
probably the toughest thing for a pitcher like Verlander to go back with his battery mate, get Martin Maldonado. How much does that familiarity help?
Great. Yeah, the relationship between pitcher, catcher, we're communicating without even talking, right? And you know my go-to pitches. You can even sense disposition and demeanor and all that. I get that. If I'm doing the X's and O's on the actual pitcher right now, and X, you're right. Like what Verlander has been doing has been very good, and he certainly is on the up with. And you alluded to the numbers. I'm saying more of Max Scherzer coming into that clubhouse now. You lose DeGrom, who was your big sign. You have nice pitchers without question, but Eovaldi was a scare. I mean, I know he had the forearm thing. John Gray, July hasn't been quite as good. Andrew Haiti was great last night, very good last night. I know what you're saying. I'm just saying there's an emotional boost that happens that it's hard to quantify, but yet somehow in the mold of the whole room and the vibe and the feel and all that, it's real. And I know we're not there now because they think that's phooey, that exists. You know, it's all like, no, the number says, no, you're wrong. But I know what it was like when David Cohn was traded to the Toronto Blue Jays. I know what it was like when we got Ricky Henderson to the Toronto Blue Jays in midseason stuff. Like, it changes. And we had no idea, whether Ricky was batting 270, whether he had 30 bags or 70 bags, or Coney was 20-game winner or a 10-game winner. It had an emotional experience.
Listen, they have some leaders in that clubhouse. I remember being out there this season not that long ago, talking to Bruce Bochy, talking to him about the leadership of Marcus Semien and that intensity. And there is something in that dugout that you cannot quantify, Al. And I am with you because I was covering the 2021 Dodgers in the division series against the San Francisco Giants. Max Scherzer, on 2 days rest, went up to his manager, Dave Robertson, and he said, I 100% will be in this game. And he walked himself to the bullpen. I watched him record his first career save, and the look in his eyes, that man was not losing. So, Al Leiter, I'm 100% with you. I don't care what the numbers say. Max Scherzer, there's a reason why his nickname is Mad Max, and he is a competitor through and through.
Yeah, see, I like you, Lauren.
I'm mad. I got to get fired up, and that's what happens with Max.
Go ahead, X.
LG, like you could literally say the same things about Justin Verlander. I mean, the one thing for me that almost makes the biggest difference is now the reason why the impact is bigger for the Astros is because
how many saves does Justin Verlander have in the postseason?
Stop.
How many saves does Justin Verlander have?
He goes irrelevant stat, LG.
We're talking about saves right now. Stop. Listen, the reason why the impact is bigger is because now Justin Verlander can't be on a different team that the Astros will be facing. I look at the Astros as World Series aspiration. Verlander's not going to be on the Orioles. He's not going to be on the Braves. He's not going to be on the Dodgers. Those are all teams that were, even the Rangers, all teams looking at him. To take him away from those teams may be even more important than actually adding him to the roster. So I still look at Verlander and the numbers are comparable. And I'm just looking more specifically at this year because that's what we have to go off of is if I'm looking at a guy that I'm going to bring to my team, any team, I'm going to look at what has he done for me lately. And Verlander's been special.
I think everyone has a different criteria to go off of. Obviously, both clubs went with their own respective set of goals. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think at the end of the day, we know that the AL West is lit at this point in time, and baseball is going to be a lot of fun to watch in Texas, regardless of our split decision here on this show.